Hello everyone, I am Vanshika Agrawal from Pragyan Batch 2019 and today I am going to talk about vaccine for coronavirus, the pandemic. So a question that is boggling all of our minds is when will the pandemic get over? So a sure short answer to this question is a vaccine. When we get a vaccine for coronavirus, we'll get rid of this pandemic. But it is not as that simple as you think. So as vaccination plays a very vital role in removing the pandemic, we shall know what vaccines are and it is important for us to know more about it. So let's get started. So today I'll talk about how does vaccine work, types of vaccines, stages of vaccine development, COVID-19 vaccine, in particular Covaxin and herd immunity. So let us look at the history of vaccination, when it all began. So it began with Edward Jenner. So this Edward Jenner, the person who was a very keen observer, he observed that the people, and let me tell you that this is the time when the smallpox disease was in, which was very deadly, and this is the time of 1796 when Edward Jenner found that the people affected by cowpox did not get affected by smallpox. With this observation, he tried his experiment on a boy. So he injected the causative agent of cowpox in the body of boy who was affected by smallpox. So to his observation and according to his expectations, what he saw was that the boy recovered from smallpox and all his blisters were all vanishing. So this is how we got the first vaccine, and the boy then got immune to the smallpox disease, and next time when Edward Jenner injected the virus of smallpox or the pathogen of smallpox in the boy's body, he was immune to it and his body was knowing how to respond to it, and the boy was not prone to that disease again. So now let us look at how does these vaccines work. They help us get rid of the diseases. So how do that bring about that change in our body? So the first step that vaccine do is it triggers the immune system of our body. You may ask me how. So vaccines are nothing but the living, weakened or live pathogen. You may say, what? Are we going to get the pathogen in our body? Yes, we are going to. But the pathogen is weakened and not alive, or maybe alive in some cases, so as to trigger the body. So what happens is when the pathogen living or weakened is injected in our body, then the body, which is in search of pathogen every time, grabs the pathogen and the two cells which are at work, that are lymphocytes and or the B cells and the T cells, also known as phagocytes. So what happens is when the virus enters or the pathogen enters the body, it has first go through the first defense line of our body, which is the skin and the mucous membrane. So if at all it manages to enter our body, then the WBCs or the phagocytes engulf the body and capture the information of the pathogen. And then this information is carried to the T cells, which are the antibody making cells. T cells are also known as lymphocytes, and these lymphocytes produce antibodies which are spread to all over the body in the blood, and then any body which is in the blood, any pathogen in the blood is killed by the antibody. And so this is the second step, which is production of antibodies. And the third step is that the body forms memory cells and remembers the pathogen again. So next time if the pathogen enters the body will soon recognize it, and in a minute or two it will just kill the pathogen as the antibody is already present in the blood. So that's how vaccines work. Now there are many types of vaccines, basically 3 types. So let us look at the 3 types of vaccines. So the first type is live attenuated vaccines. So it just means that the pathogen in this vaccine is live. And examples of these vaccines are vaccines for measles, mumps and rubella. And next is inactive vaccine. And in this vaccine, the virus is completely killed. It is non-living virus or pathogen, where viruses are already non-living in the atmosphere. So the inactive vaccines is when the pathogen is completely killed and then injected in the body. And examples of these kind of vaccines are vaccines for polio and hepatitis A. Then next is the subunit vaccines, in which the single part, like a specific protein of a pathogen, is took out and then injected in the body. So example of these kind of vaccines are vaccines for hepatitis B and influenza. Moving on. Now, vaccine production is not as simple as we think of, and it is not as fast process. It takes years and years for vaccine production. Though vaccines are very necessary, but the time they consume is too much. So now let us look at the different stages of vaccine production. So the first stage is of research. So research is just to learn about the characteristics of the virus or the pathogen. It takes about 2 to 4 years for this step. But now, as we see the pandemic is taking over the world, it has accelerated to 6 months. Next is preclinical preparations. So preclinical preparations, we develop a vaccine, and this takes normally 2 years, but now it is accelerated to 6 months. The next is clinical trials, and clinical trials have various phases. So the first is clinical trials, in which the tests are being done on the animals like rats, and then comes phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3. So in phase 1, what we do is, in phase 1 we take a small population and the vaccine is tested upon that small population. Then we have approval, that we get the assent of the health ministry, and then is manufacturing. We manufacture the vaccines to be exported, and then we finally distribute it to the world for the sake of recovery. That's how vaccines are developed. Next is race for coronavirus vaccine. So India is aiming to develop a vaccine by 15 August 2020. That's a great news. And the vaccine name is Covaxin. So Central Drug Standard Control Organization has allowed Bharat Biotech India to conduct human clinical trials for Covaxin, and it is in progress now. It has reached stage 1 and it is still proceeding. So BBIL is working with collaboration with ICMR and NIV. So BBIL has developed H1N1 vaccine, rotavirus vaccine and Zika virus vaccine before, and now Bharat Biotech is aiming to produce Covaxin. So let us hope for the best. Now, developing a vaccine is not enough. We need to get herd immunity. And what do I mean by that? That if you are able to see the picture I am showing, I'll just zoom it out. So yes, if you can see the picture, in first picture, the people in blue are not immunized but healthy. People in yellow are immunized and healthy. People in red are not immunized, sick and contagious. So you can see in picture 1, there are many not immunized but healthy people and 2 sick people. So after some time, you'll see in days to come that the many people are get the disease and get sick, and this disease is spread to the 95% of the people. And in the second picture, if you see, some are immunized. So if we immunize some of the people, then we will see that the people who are getting affected will reduce. It will reduce to some percent, 5 to 10%. And if you see in the third picture, when many of the people are immunized and some of the people are having the disease and some are healthy, so you see the rate decreases. So what herd immunity means is that to immunize the population, as the word suggests, to immunize the population so that the disease does not spread. It does not spread to the whole population, and then we will be able to eradicate it. So for coronavirus as well, we need hope so we get vaccine, and we'll surely get a vaccine. So getting a vaccine is not sufficient. We need to get herd immunity after it. Then only we would be able to eradicate coronavirus from our surroundings. So I'll tell the resources I have used in my presentation throughout is Bookstava, NDTV and TED-Ed. Lastly, thank you.